James Cameron, a Canadian film director born in Ontario, Canada in 1954. His interest in films began around 1974 after he finished his schooling at Berea Linda High School and became a truck driver, in which, in between shifts, he would go to his local library and write notes about filmmaking and cinema techniques alongside his own film ideas. In 1977, after he saw Star Wars: A New Hope, he was amazed by the visuals. He realized what could be done with special effects and visual effects in movies and left his truck driving job and dedicated himself to writing and directing his own films. He made his cinema debut film in 1984 with the sci-fi action film Terminator.
That Terminator is out there. Can't be bargained with, can't be reasoned with, absolutely will not stop until you are dead.
He would make a sequel around 7 years later in 1991. He continued to further reinvent the sci-fi genre with brand new effects with movies such as Aliens,
Get away from her, you...
his first multi-billion-dollar grossing film, the heartfelt catastrophe Titanic, and his most notable and highest-grossing CGI masterpiece, Avatar, and many more iconic films that helped to envision, fully realize the space and sci-fi genre as a whole for future directors to come. James Cameron is not only responsible for creating new, innovative ways to shoot scenes in his films, he invented them. For his 2009 film Avatar, Cameron invented a dedicated 3D methodology composed of a special system called the Fusion Camera, or Reality Camera System. Actors in Avatar wore motion capture suits or mocap suits, which were used to help them with the motion capture technology. Motion capture being the process of recording the movement of objects or people, having the actors wear full-body suits with balls around them, the suits capturing the actors' movements so they can be fully rendered in the film. This tech is also used for recording cutscenes in video games.
Don't tell me that I would be safer with someone else, because the truth is I would just be more scared.
Other films that use motion capture include The Christmas Carol, Monster House, Polar Express, and the Planet of the Apes remakes.
Take your stinking paw off me, you damn dirty ape!
James Cameron uses tech for Avatar 1 and 2, as well as his upcoming Avatar films. He also invented a rig that specifically can shoot scenes underwater and also film in 3D. This was used mainly for Avatar 2, The Way of Water. This rig cost $500 million to create and film with, making it one of the highest budget films to be made. Terminator series, in which he created fully realistic sets to fully envelop the audience into the sci-fi futuristic world. As well, in Aliens, he worked with H.R. Giger to create strange intricate patterns within his set pieces, also helping Cameron fully realize the concept for the xenomorphs. H.R. Giger being a famous artist known for his peculiar and almost threatening art style, his art style being the inspiration for the 2022 game Scorn. Another example of his incredible set design includes the futuristic war dreams that Kyle Reese has in the first Terminator film, that were made and designed specifically for the many shots used in Terminator, as well as the nuke scene in Terminator 2, which was done using miniature set pieces mainly made up of small plastic cars, buses, and small easily destructible buildings. Another film that used miniature models for its scenes include the helicopter scene in Die Hard. Another technology that was explored in the late 70s and early 80s was stop motion. Stop motion is the technique of objects being physically manipulated in small movements between individual frames so that they will appear to have independent motion or change when the series of frames is played back. Examples of this in films include the AT-ATs from Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back, Ed 209 from RoboCop, and the Rancor from Star Wars: Return of the Jedi. These stop-motion creations were all done by the very talented visual effects artist Phil Tippett, who made an entire career out of creating monsters for various films as well as his stop-motion creations. All of this is explained as he worked on various stop-motion scenes in James Cameron movies. An example of this being the few shots in Aliens, in which there are a group of aliens in a single shot. It's hard to see, but very faintly, stop-motion is being used in this shot. Stop motion is most evident in Terminator after the T-800 was thought to be killed by Kyle Reese. The Terminator rises from the fire and starts charging towards Kyle and Sarah in a menacing way. This shot could not have been done with CGI, mainly because CGI hadn't been invented, so Cameron had to create a way for the Terminator to walk towards the camera, so he relied on the use of stop motion, which was very effective, as this shot still holds up today, although a bit shaky. Another way the Terminator was moved in scenes was the help of using individual operators taking charge of controlling the head and eyes via remote control. Cameron's action films often feature strong female protagonists, like Ripley in Aliens, Sarah Connor in Terminator, Rose in Titanic, and Neytiri in Avatar. These women either lead their respective franchises or play crucial roles. Interestingly, Sigourney Weaver wasn't intended to play Ripley. Meryl Streep was considered. However, when Sigourney Weaver auditioned for a small role in the first Alien film, her performance impressed the director, leading her to become a main character in multiple sequels. For the Terminator series, Lena Headey took on the role of Sarah Connor, pivotal as the mother of John Connor, the future leader against Skynet. In Titanic, Rose's character was originally a minor love interest. Cameron's decision to focus on Leonardo DiCaprio's character made Rose a significant side protagonist. In Avatar, Neytiri was crafted to mentor Jake Sully, aiding his transformation and resistance against the destructive humans on Pandora. She symbolized both Sully's determination and the bridge to Na'vi-human reconciliation. Cameron's choice of female protagonists propels plots, driving main characters on transformative journeys against injustice. He aimed to redefine womanhood and motherhood, empowering audiences to rally behind these characters. Many of Cameron's cinematic works center around group conflicts and warfare. The Terminator franchise prominently features the struggle between humanity and advanced machines, while the Alien series showcases the confrontation between man and extraterrestrial beings. Similarly, in Avatar, the narrative revolves around the clash between the Na'vi population and the encroaching human forces seeking to exploit their resources and territory. Cameron's recurring use of this narrative motif stems from the profound appreciation for its ability to unfold storylines and illuminate the intricacies of characters' emotions and challenges. He has articulated how conflict as a driving force serves as a potent mechanism for storytelling, allowing for the meticulous development of plotlines and nuanced portrayal of characters' journeys. This narrative framework, in which opposing groups fighting serve as the catalyst for a story, is found in many other films. Examples include Star Wars, the struggle between the Galactic Empire and the resistance for control over the galaxy, Pacific Rim, using the fierce territorial dispute between the colossal kaiju and the mechanized Jaegers to drive its story, and the 2002 Scottish grindhouse film Dog Soldiers, which shows the intense confrontation between soldiers and werewolves. Overall, Cameron's ideas for exploring the dynamics of opposing groups as a narrative theme works greatly under the scope of other cinematic creations, showing how conflict is a strong and widely liked way to tell stories. Apart from directing his own films as well as doing many visual effects for other films, Cameron is also notable for his other achievements, not related to film. He has 3 of the highest grossing films in history, those being Avatar 1 and 2 and Titanic, which altogether made roughly $6 to $7 billion. He also became the first person to do a solo descent to the bottom of the Mariana Trench in 2012, the deepest part of Earth's ocean. In the years since Avatar, he has taken an active effort to speak against global issues to help combat climate change, including making a documentary series called Years of Living Dangerously, which was made to inform the public. James Cameron has created monolithic ideas that rival the norms of storytelling and filmmaking, starting as a truck driver and becoming one of the greatest directors in film history. His films challenged what most thought could have never been achieved and sought to create powerful narratives for all moviegoers.